we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Friday, May 10th, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, which we have right here on the screen. Take a peek over there at the altcoin market, along with the United States stock market, which is set to open in the next 3 minutes, along with precious metals like gold and silver, and the DXY, or the US dollar currency index. As we get our day kicked off, we're just kind of hovering up in here after yesterday afternoon. The prices kind of shifted their way up throughout Bitcoin and throughout the altcoin market. But of course, we're still just kind of waddling around in here. So any big moves, haven't seen anything structurally looking like any type of breakout happening just yet. I did just release a video about 30 minutes ago looking through a lot of the different altcoins throughout the market and taking a bigger perspective look at the market. We've been talking a lot about this. The question is it going to hold? Is there nothing but air below us if we take this thing out? And we went through and kind of compared it to like weekly moving averages that were going on throughout various altcoins and how that behavior looked in 2020 throughout the cryptocurrency market. So there's a good case for things to hold. You've got stuff that is exceptionally strong. You have stuff that is right on top of the moving averages as if they were perfect back tests that happened throughout this whole moment. And then just like in 2021, we're seeing signs of some that are a little bit weaker. But otherwise, things are looking okay here in the market. The thing is, like we just talked about really at the beginning of the week and kind of what it was going to end up being like, we're just range bound. We're range stuck right now and still waiting for the market to give us a little bit of a push to get us out of here, out of the top of the range, to have more things to talk about. Otherwise, it is still just a range. But I thought it was interesting to look at it from the perspective of a bigger time frame, such as the weekly time frame, and corroborate the things that we're talking about of where we're at right now, and with what the individual altcoins have been doing. And there's a lot of similarities to what happens during that time. One of the examples we'll look at, I'll just pull this one up, ADA USD. For the Cardano fans out there, I understand everybody has their own opinions. Doesn't matter to me. This is a chart. We're going to look at a chart. Things like this, right? Get us on. There we go. There we go. I'll shift that out of the way for a minute and scoot on these weekly moving averages. As you can see, you will find this throughout the whole market everywhere. And by the way, we're going to probably have lower viewership today because I'm competing with myself. I have my own video that was just released, so we'll be competing against that. So it's going to be a more intimate experience today. But you could see that we come back and we slam back down into the moving averages in here and still continue to hold. What's interesting about that as well, these markers in here, you can see this is where the 50-week crosses through the 100-week moving average here for Cardano. That's also what happened back here in 2021 before this correction ends up coming in here. Looking over at this, here is that correction right there. Hey, what do you know? Same kind of stuff, right? And this happens right after the weekly moving averages cross. This is also the same for the altcoin market where these moving averages cross, and you end up having this happening in here. And so we'll find this in various places, right? You see that the market from October went through the big escape through the two big ones right there, through the 50 and the 100, and then boom, 50, 100, boom, right in there. So nothing crazy, but this moment in time right in here, this is just what we're talking about with the altcoin market. We've been discussing load. Don't do this while we're live. We've been discussing just load. Okay, we'll do this. There it is. Right. We've been talking about, can we do that? This kind of grind out in here, right? So total 3 daily. We've talked about this several times in Markets in the Morning. I know none of us are cheering for it to be something like that, right? But to corroborate it and be like, the bull flag, a big break, and then it kind of waddles through there before it goes into actual expansion happening in there. That is this right in here, right? That is this moment in here. And that's what we're talking about here here, right? So there's just confluence to all these things. I made a video about it. I go through, we look at, I don't know how many assets we looked at, maybe 30 going through it, showing things that are exceptionally strong, things that are doing exactly this, and then things that are showing weakness, right? Again, like we reiterated yesterday in Markets in the Morning, we were talking about total value locked. These are things that I've been emphasizing on for like the last 6 to 8 months. User activity levels, development activity levels. Some of the strongest assets out there that have really done kind of full retracements in there have been things like BNB, Solana, Ethereum, and Tron. And what do all of those have in common? They're the top 4 with total value locked. And they're the ones that have done the bigger retraces in there. So again, it kind of showing that data is important, right? So like the thing we know about 2021 and all the research that we've done is that there's really kind of like a K-shaped recovery that came out of the market there in 2021. You had some assets that go into all-time highs, and you have a lot of them that just do nothing but retraces. Really, 80% of cryptos did retraces, and that includes the top 10, top 20, top 30, whatever. The top 100, 80% of them just did retraces, whereas 20% of them able to touch new all-time highs. And so when it comes to K-shaped recoveries, who's going to have that ability to be able to get through the retracements and continue beyond, and who's going to kind of stall out there, and what are the confluences and the data that give it the network effects to be able to expand further? Seems a lot of those kind of developer user activity level things are pretty important. So those have been the things that I've been emphasizing, obviously, for 8 months or so, 6, 8 months at this point. And yeah, I'm kind of getting to the point where kind of getting tired of beating that horse, but it is what it is. But you got to kind of see that data yesterday, and then I re-emphasize that again in today's video as well. And so things that are kind of stalling, lagging, doing just fine. Take a look at today's video. It's been released, and you can see all of that for yourself. But there you go. Still continuing in there. And for Bitcoin, total 3. Again, this whole thing, it looks like we're going to be heading into our weekend. We'll see if we can get an escape from this range in here. Even an escape from this range in here does not mean go to moon escape from the range. It just provides that optimism that you aren't doing things like this, right? Where you come down and then you kind of double tap and then boom, you come down and then you come back up, down, and then right. We don't want any of that, right? So getting out of here gives us the ability to kind of look at it from this perspective rather than it stalling, right? We have our double bounce and then capitulation ends up happening in here, things like that, right? So that's not what we want, obviously. So getting out of here does not mean go to moon. It just opens up our optimism to say, hey, we might attempt to go for expansion again. And that's what we're all waiting for, obviously. So total 3 USDT. Oh, no. Yep. Okay, you can't do that. You have to already be off of log. And then you get it. There you go. That is where we are at. Okay, XRP, 51.3 cents. Nothing changing over there. United States stock market is open, crushing it, getting back near the highs once again. Again, optimistic for the cryptocurrency market to see that happening in there because crypto follows the stock market. Black reward happenings, ETFs. Dow up 127 points, up 0.32%. The S&P up 17 points, 0.34%. The NASDAQ up 90 points or 0.5%. It's interesting because you have metals ripping today too. NVIDIA, Netflix, and Roblox are the leaders of the day. Of course, Roblox coming off of just a devastating day yesterday. Google, Tesla, and Amazon falling big time, not falling big time. The losers of the morning. Tesla is the one comment I wanted to make. I saw something over there on Twitter. TXMC had shared it. I don't know. Tesla doing more layoffs and removing all job postings over there. I was looking at the Car Guru's used vehicle index for Teslas, and they're down to like $30,000. It's amazing. I've often speculated that whether or not Tesla has that, a lot of it was just that cool factor, that new cool factor, and how long that would maintain itself. And I'm curious if that cool factor is wearing off. Which also I'm wondering if Stanley Cups are. How are Stanley Cups doing? The hard thing about Googling Google Trends for Stanley Cups is because of the actual Stanley Cup playoff, right? Hockey. Google Trends I'll just do buy Stanley Cup. Sorry, I'm wasting your time doing this, but that's what we're doing. Stanley Cup. We'll do the past 5 years. Oh, as suspected. Are your ladies still buying those Stanley Cups, gentlemen? The hype is gone. The Beanie Baby effect has left Stanley Cups. It's making a comeback. It's making a comeback. All right. Enough of that. Anyway, yeah. There you have it. All right. NASDAQ up as well. Again, very good for crypto. Not good. Weird. We have gold and silver moving up as well. We'll see if this is just a retracement happening in here for these guys, or if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to kind of conclude itself and finish off up in here. And again, this is kind of a retracement here for silver. We'll see if it holds, but this was a stop right here on top. We're in a very, you guys know it, we're all in a very weird time when it comes to macro with silver, gold, dollar, indexes, and expansions. And the Russell is a very unique time and a navigation point that we haven't had to navigate like this since the dot-com bubble pop, right? This is unlike 2013, 2017, and 2021. As for the DXY down 105.22, so that's good. We've gotten away from the historical danger zone, still just holding out, hanging out right in here, which is fine. As long as this thing isn't getting above there or showing strength, then we're all just chilling and hanging out, having a good time. Otherwise, there you go. Otherwise, as we head into our weekend, my best guess, we just keep doing chop. Chop City is ahead. And then we come into next week, and then we'll kind of keep going. Joseph says, hey, BCB, it looks like we're seeing some breadth in the stock market. If we do take the highs, how will you start feeling about the crypto market? Oh, I mean, if the Russell went and set a new all-time high, it'd be very interesting. And let's see the breadth. I don't know if you're seeing breadth, man. You know? You still, right, in the end, what is this? It's still kind of retracing that fall that happened right there after hitting the 618 retracement level. So again, reiterating that it's just a very different environment than what you had in 2020, 2016, and 2012, 2013, right? All of the Bitcoin breakouts happen during these major moments that happen in markets where this market expands, right? This is the Russell, right? This is the exact same time that the Dow is breaking out, that it breaks out from pre-great financial crisis highs, right? Same thing happens over here in the 2016 to 2017 bull run, right? And then the same thing happens over here in 2020 and 21. We've gone through that quite a few times. This is your first time you're having this dynamic happening in here, where you don't have that dynamic occurring. You don't have that expansion happening in here. So we're all navigating this in a new way, right? And people love to hang on to hat of 4-year cycles and block reward halvings and not credit any of this stuff happening at the exact same time when the data is unequivocal. It's just not debatable, right? That these have been events that have happened at the exact same time. Would this be like best case scenario? Holy cow, yes it would. But it also still would be different. Even if it does go, right? Like even if this does end up getting through here and ends up going up like this, boy, it's still, we have to sit here and scratch our head because the Dow got up here way earlier, and that's not what has happened every time. It's always been this market moving together, and there's something sneaky happening in there, and we're going to all look back on it, and we're going to say, oh, that's what it meant. Probably when liquidations are hitting hard, you know. As of right now, I just don't think there's breadth opening up big time out here at all yet. So, all right, let's go into the news. Novavax shares spike over 100% on Sanofi deal to commercialize the C19 vaccine and develop combination shots. What? All right, look, I'm not a I'm not like a I don't have an opinion on that. You know, you could do whatever you want. If you want it, if you don't want it, I really don't care. But do people still get that? Do people still do this? I don't even know. I don't know anybody that does. Okay. Apple apologizes for iPad Pro ad. And I really don't care what you do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You do whatever you want. Apple apologizes for iPad Pro ad showing hydraulic press destroying guitars and piano. What? Oh my gosh. Okay. Social Security Administration to expand access to certain benefits through several upcoming changes. Stocks making the biggest moves pre-market are Yelp, Sweet Green, Novavax, Akamai Technologies, and more. Okay. Okay. We got more vaccine stuff down here. We'll skip over that. I'm not here to stir the pot. All right. Dogecoin appears headed for a golden cross. A Doge price pattern that presaged the early 2021 surge looks set to reoccur. Let's go take a look. Are we talking about these things, right? Right. This whole market moves together, and it's all right. Never convince yourself otherwise. It'll save you a lot of headaches. Why isn't my token pumping? Because the whole market isn't. And the million-dollar question is whether you pick the one that ends up being the one that does pump big time or doesn't pump big time. But as you can see in here, during the entire bear of Doge, stuck underneath the, what is that one? That's a 100. What is that one? That was a 50, right? So stuck underneath the 50 and the 100 the whole time. Finally escapes both of them, comes back in for back testing back in here, and then off and away it goes. As you can see how deep and long this has been in here. Check the tape. You can see that we do eventually get through all of these as well. And, right, these are not things that happen when you go set new lows, right? You can see that it's stuck. And this is kind of stuff we talk about in today's video that I put out. When you're stuck under these, we go into C19 and, we were still stuck. We were still not like escaping out of here like this when we go down into the slam for C19. And the market had started escaping from these things. So when you see stuff like this, right, could you potentially just be kind of doing something like that? And there's still more working down here for Doge, sure. But, to come all the way back down again to the lows, you're asking for one time to take significantly longer, and you're asking for something kind of not to happen that doesn't typically happen, right? But golden cross, whatever, but escaping all moving averages, I think that's interesting. And you could see how these were even resistances down in here, right? Sorry about that. Shut that down. All right, there you go. So there you go. Going to give you a sneak peek just to look when you want to look at it on a bigger time frame and kind of get an idea of where you're at throughout the market. These also were times in here where we had been escaping from moving averages, and we have seen this everywhere, in a lot of places in the market. A couple of weaknesses, but for the most part, they're getting through. Okay, right. Headed for a golden cross. I don't think that the golden cross thing really matters too much because what you do see with crosses and stuff like that, they don't really mean much to me. Just like death crosses don't, because when people see, oh, we're gonna death cross, the bottom's usually already in, right? By the time you do these death crosses, bottom's usually already in. That's why it's always so annoying when we are deep in the bear. We're already at the bottom. The market's already capitulated. And then you got every content creator and their mom talking about death crossing coming. It's like, but we go through history and we see that the death cross typically means the bottom's already in. They typically don't mean anything outside of just S has already hit in the fan, right? We've already gone down. We've already gotten down and hit the bottom. Just because the death cross ends up occurring in here. Here, what about this death cross? It doesn't matter. We're usually already down. So when the crosses end up happening, they usually just don't mean anything to me. And like what we just saw there on Cardano, looking at this one, you could see here's a cross, right? Here's the 50 and the 100 crossing each other. And you can see that the cross doesn't mean anything. We actually end up plunging right in here, right? And plunging, and then we end up marking our way up. But just the act of getting through these was great. But this, it didn't mean we didn't have some big plunge in here. And let's do this. Right, that's a 51% plunge. If you don't know, Cardano was one of the best performers in 2021. This is like a 10,000% rise, right? And along the way, 16,000% rise. Along the way, there was that big bad boy that happened right in there. And is this any different? No, it's like the exact same, right? 51%, 50%, exact same thing. But notice what happens is they happen post cross, right? The big liquidation, the big fall happens after. So I just don't ever view these things as being like, oh, this means it's a buy time today. No, I mean, we got through them. It's great that they're crossing and they're moving up, but like, it doesn't mean, oh, if that cross happens, it automatically means we're great. And it doesn't mean we're doomed, right? Like right in here, when this happens, up, right? When this happens, up, right? It just doesn't mean anything to me. So I don't know. Just whenever you see that, golden crosses and death crosses, they just mean nothing to me. But either way, same thing happens here, right? So you can see there's the cross, there's the plunge, there's the cross, there's the plunge. Same thing, right? So yeah, there you go. Back to the news. I forgot these ones, and then we'll get to that. TON. Render surged more than 13% as Bitcoin rebounds to 63K. First mover Americas, Bitcoin holds near 63K, consolidating week's recovery. Binance KuCoin win registration from India, anti-money laundering regulator as crypto credibility improves. Where did I see that? What was I looking at? I was looking at this Doge Golden Cross thing. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. But yeah. No, I mean, these are good things. There's no question these are good things. It just like, I think I proved the point. They're good, but like I don't know. You get it. All right. SEC doesn't want Ethereum to transform banking landscape, says Joseph Liban. Altcoins will bottom in early summer before the bull run, analyst. How to stop the artificial intelligence apocalypse, David Brin, Uplift author. 3 trends to think about before Bitcoin's bull run resumes. Despite Bitcoin price volatility, factors point to Bitcoin's long-term success. Bitcoin price sustains $265,000 level once boring consolidation ends, says analyst. I don't know about that. All right, crypto lending platform Nexo allocates $12 million for ecosystem incentives. House votes to nullify SEC's anti-crypto banking guidance, SAB 121. Ether turns inflationary for the first time since the merge. That's not true. It's done it before. 1.35 billion in Bitcoin options expire this week. Do Bitcoin bulls or bears have the upper hand? Here, we'll look at that. What is it? Ultrasound.money? Isn't that what it is? We'll look at Ethereum. I saw the Bitcoiners posting this. They're just like doing everything they can to point to this. So it's at an annual inflation rate of 0.582% right now. Oh no. The 30-day annual rate has been 0.38%. The 603-day rate is negative 0.21%. Let's take a look. Anyway, the point I was saying, inflationary for the first time since the merge. It's not true. It actually did it right here in September and October after that liquidation happened in August of last year. If you guys remember that, we had that liquidation that took place. Right? The one where everybody screamed we're going to 12K. How many times did you see this one here? Let me do it. Here we go. I know I'm going to do it. This guy right there, this arrow. I saw this a million times. That arrow. But anyway, yeah, after we liquidated in here, right, what happened? You saw Ethereum go inflationary as the market cooled off, right? Then back to deflationary again. So Ethereum turns inflationary for the first time since the merge. That's actually not true. It did it then too. $1.35 billion of Bitcoin options expire this week. Do the Bitcoin bulls or bears have the upper hand? So there's your news. I don't think we really have anything. Everybody's in a fight between whether or not we're bottomed or we're not bottomed. Do we continue up? Do we not continue up? Do we hang here? What do we do? Big fight throughout the market currently right now. The positive thing is at least the stock market is moving up. That's something that you do want to see happening in there. And yeah, that's just kind of where we sit. And I think we're just ranging. And just even in these ranges, you just kind of go sideways and kill sentiment for a little bit. So that's all I see. That's what I see too, right? So all right, there you go. I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need to cover before we get ready for Friday? Check out the video. I have already released a video today. Some of you have probably already watched it, and you're just jumping in right now. I've decided to compete with myself this morning against my own video, which is fine. I wanted to get it out there. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful day. We're at 26 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and hop into the chat. There will be other content that I am doing today. It won't be released on this YouTube channel. But it's going to be a busy day for me for sure. So let's hop into the chat, see what's going on. One more reiteration of what's going on in the market. Bitcoin's still waddling sideways. We've already talked about the altcoin market. Check out today's video. We go through like a lot of the altcoins and look at it from the bigger perspective of the market, taking a look at, was this a supportive level for a lot of assets? Absolutely, it sure was. You can see that on weekly moving averages everywhere of assets that held. Similarities of that to the past times before expansions kicked in for the cryptocurrency market. So those are all great things, and that video has already been released. But otherwise, we do just sit range bound waiting for something to progress throughout here. As for the United States stock market, big day yesterday for the Dow. I wish I remember what the number was. Was it as big as 300 points yesterday? It was 100 and something points. I don't know. I think when I checked CNBC earlier in the day, 7-day consecutive streak for the Dow, which you can obviously see happening right in here as the DXY still 105.15, so still continuing to go down. Things though, you got gold trying to fight back so far, just a retracement in here. You got silver trying to fight back as well with a retracement, but that was a supportive test. We'll see how things end up going. Otherwise, we just sit here waiting, and this is what most of crypto is like. For all the people who poured into the market during the hype and the euphoria phase, those are short-lived. Those are brief moments in time. Otherwise, this is how we spend 90% of our time, literally 90%, waiting. But okay, there we go. That's what's going on in markets today. Stock market up, dollar down, metals up, crypto slight green, waddling sideways, still range bound. Maybe next week can bring us some brighter days. So, all right, check out today's video. Otherwise, I'm going to hop on into La Chat. Arm Day. Do you think Stanley Cup will 702 retrace? I don't know. If you guys know who XRP, the Standard Productions, is, 2 days or like 3 days, or maybe the day before, Ripple got sued by the SEC back in 2020. He had put out an article that I had quit XRP. I sold all of my XRP in December of 2020, and I went all in on Beanie Babies. And like he had quotes from me, of course, it's all satirical stuff of just how I had anticipated that it would actually be the Beanie Baby market that would take off. The funny thing is, right, what ended up happening after that, like in 2021, like everything took off, right? Like collectible coins took off, Pokemon cards took off, old school like Nintendo video games took off, Game Boy games, Nintendo 64, all your different stuff, like all these nostalgic things took off and had like these massive bull runs in 2021 just because people had money, right? But what didn't happen? Beanie Babies, man, what the heck? They never went up. Ever. So I look at my cabinet right now, because I do have two ladies that live in this house with me, my wife and my daughter. We have 20 Stanley Cups, and we have way more than enough Stanley Cups. So no, I do not think Stanley Cups will have a 702 retrace. I think that was probably the end. Joseph, it's kind of like with the Yeti cups. Like Yeti was really cool for a while, right? But Yeti's just a whatever now, right? Joseph Woodard, hey BCB, it looks like we're seeing some breadth in the stock market. If we do take the highs, how will you start feeling about the crypto market? Yeah, so I addressed that one earlier. We actually pulled up the OTY. I don't think we actually are seeing real breadth happening in the markets just yet. Me Jules Company says my daughter wants an Owala water bottle instead. I don't even know what that is, man. I don't know. You got to buy what's cool, though. Joker's Performance says, man, thank you very much. It's very generous. He says, I know we can't predict markets, but this market showing any weakness at all, I do believe will trigger a 2020 sell-off event. We would break the 200 MA, possibly even the bear market lows being taken out, 500 structure of 2008. Right. So, I mean, that's an interesting thing to look at is just where we are at, right? So you kind of have all these things with their respective, sitting on top of their respective moving averages. We started out this week of being like, even just looking at these market caps of the entire market, like we just shouldn't be setting new lows, right? We just shouldn't at this point. And then you look at all those altcoins and you say, well, if they do break below, they're going to take out all of their stuff, right? They're going to take out all those things. So you kind of have like an invalidation point set there for a lot of the altcoins on their respective moving averages, weekly time frame that they sit on right now. The thing that has become frustrating with the cryptocurrency market is the leverage that does happen in here, and that you almost get no time to do anything. When something breaks, it's almost in a blink of an eye, everything is completely wrecked because there's so much encouragement in this market for you to use leverage. And the leverage just wipes out the market in a matter of a minute. And you don't even have enough time to say, oh, okay, look, this is taking out these levels that I have invalidations at. Let me go ahead and start de-risking a little bit. Too late. Wiped out. That has been very annoying in the crypto market. The longer it goes, we had none of that really in 2017. Then we had some of it in 2020 and 2021. And then in 2022, just got it. 23, got it. 24, more. And so the leverage build up, and the people who are just really gambling out of control have made it to where it's really hard to do anything. Structurally, you have to kind of take your bet early and then see how it ends up going, or be sitting there with stop losses set. And stop losses are important when you're taking trades, right? But one other aspect of crypto is it also depends on the exchange that you're using too, because they will sell the order flow. And I have had it happen several times in the past where it will go hit your stop just on the exchange that you're on and not on other exchanges. So I do hope that's not the case, but we do also know, jokers, that that's where we got to. Everything depends on the market going into a true expansion. And like the things we talked about, what have been the big ones that have performed well? Tron, Ethereum, Solana, and Binance Coin. But what have they all done? They've all gotten here. Even those guys, the guys who have done the best, have not expanded, right? They haven't gone off into new highs to trigger themselves into a bull run. And so we are waiting right now to say, is this market going to expand in here or not? And that's our $1 million question that we're all waiting on to find out right now, right? So, well, I definitely see your point, 100%. Of course, I don't think anybody cheers for that, but it's something we have to think about. Joker says it was 2008. We failed to break and hold the 1-to-1 fib level. We fell back to the 786 when the moment happened. We waterfalled all the way past the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? Yeah. So these are things we've talked about many, many times in regards to Fed funds rate. You see it, right? What do you end up doing? You go into a pause cycle, market rallies, right? And maybe it's the same stuff, like of why does the market rally into moments like this? Why does the market rally into it? I was not active in markets aggressively during this time right in here. I was a young adult at the time, and not paying attention to it all very closely at the time. But maybe it was the same thing. Oh, the Fed, right? The Fed's already done a bunch of hiking, right? Fed's done a bunch of hiking. The Fed does their first pause. Oh, that means that the Fed is going to have to cut soon. Let's start pumping the markets because that's super bullish that the Fed is going to have to cut. Finally, the Fed starts cutting. Buy the rumor. Sell the news, right? What do you hear constantly from people and Twitter personalities and YouTubers? When the Fed cuts, it's super bullish. Really? Where? Show me. Where? Right? There's cuts. There's cuts. Right? Here's cuts. Where? Where are you getting that from? It's just a good regurgitating point for clicks, right? But maybe it is just that. Maybe it's buy the rumor. Oh, and like retail believes it, right? The money printer go burr. If they cut, it's super bullish. But you see what I see. Do I know the future of how this market's going to react on the event of it happening? No. Can I look and see what happened the last 3 times? Yes. Right. So, yeah, I'm guessing you're talking about this right here, right? That. Fails, back, plunge. Right, and that's what we'll have to watch for here. Thank you very much, Jokers, my man. Ryan Rendon. Dude, look at this. Member for 45 months. Happy Friday, BCB squad. The number one way to support the channel is to hit the like button. Man, thank you very much, Ryan. And for 45 months, how insane is that? I do believe you hold the title. I don't think anybody has longer than you. I don't know if mathematically if they can. I have no idea when the membership feature got turned on for YouTube. But obviously, at least 45 months ago. It's amazing, dude. Thank you. Hugh D says, chili bottles. Mine has pineapples on it. Huh, I don't know what that is. I guess we're still talking about Stanley's. But all right, there you have it, guys. That's what's going on in markets as we head into the weekend. Things are still just chilling throughout here. I don't see anything to run and tell mom about, and we didn't get anything to run and tell mom about this week yet for the altcoin market caps to get out. The thing that we were able to do, though, today in the video that was released is to take a look at it and say, hey, is there a significant hold that is happening in here right now? Corey says, how do you navigate coins that are going parabolic? Do you rotate them or let them win? For example, I have a coin that pumped a lot over the last 6 years, but I have a coin that's pumped a lot, but it had a 6-year accumulation phase, lots of momentum, but it makes me nervous. I'll pull it up on another screen and take a look at it. Hold on, guys. Dang, that one was a killer, huh? Good for you, dude. Notice that. Take notes of that right there. Like, why do we talk about the 702 retracement so much? And like, you can just see it in there too, right? What ends up happening? look at how it just gets stuck weekly. And then boom, that's the escape level for it to end up happening. We see that all the time. I've seen that on XRP several times as well before too. Like for me on these things, when I'm in things like this, like I talked about this like on my exit plans, like by here, I'm actually already 65% out by there. And then taking it another level up in there. Holy cow, I would have already reached full exit for myself. I would have been fully out by there. You got your bearish divergences happening here on the weekly time frame as well. For something like that, that's where I'm out, man. If you caught that whole ride, you killed it, dude. I've never even heard of this thing before. 4,700%. Good for you. To Infinity says BCB, I'm from the land down under, and I just jumped on. Well, it's the middle of the night, man. What are you doing? I don't know. I appreciate you tuning in. That's the weekend, right? That's why you're able to do it. It's like late Saturday morning, or what is it, like 2 What time is it there? I don't even know. It's like 1 a.m., something like that. So, okay. I think that's all we got for today, guys. If you could, please like the live stream. As always, the super chats, of course, are always appreciated. The memberships are always appreciated. But definitely the best way to support is just hitting the like button, keeping the channel going. Everything's dependent on it. I hope that y'all... Oh, yeah, Mother's Day. Here we go. Drunken. All right, dudes. It's 95% men who listen to this channel. All right. So what are we doing? Right. 1, you got to get flowers. 2, you got to make food plans. Now, taking them out is good. That works. But remember, you can just cook something cool. You can cook something good. Go to the grocery store after work today and go ahead and pick everything up. Get it all ready. You know what always works for me? Homemade fettuccine Alfredo. Super wins every time. I tell her it's for her, but it's really for me. But it works either way. Steak, shrimp, whatever. You can do it. They just want to feel loved and appreciated. So hook them up. Don't forget. You always got to get flowers. Like you always have to get the flowers. So don't do that. Dudes for men looking out for men. We got to do that. Don't forget that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Okay. All right, we're done. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Check out the video that was released earlier today. Of course, check out the newsletter where we dive into the different sectors that are hot throughout the cryptocurrency market to see how they're performing, what sectors are hot, what sectors are not. And that's available over here on Substack. There's a link down in the description of this live stream. There's also a link that I've just posted over there in the chat right now. Of course, check out bcbacker.com to get videos galore throughout the weekend for me. It should take up your whole weekend. It's over 11 hours of content over here teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. There are also audio recordings that come with all these newsletters in here. So if you sign up for the newsletter, not only do you get access to this lovely 25-minute audio recording that I walk you through all of that with, but also the 35 plus previous newsletters that there are in there as well. I believe there's 37, I think. But anyway, you get access to all of them. Go learn about gold. Go learn about silver, the correlations between them, developer activity in the crypto market, and all the data that shows us how the 2021 crypto market changed in regards to what does well. What do we see? User activity levels, development activity levels, and then hot sectors. So all kinds of stuff in here, all types of alpha, and of course, lots of audio recording. Treat it like a podcast. I know a lot of you guys listen to me in the truck, in the car, while working. Hey, man, there's another 36 of them for you right there. Right there on Substack. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll check in with you in just a couple of days. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one. And to the ladies who watch, those 5%, if you're a mom, happy Mother's Day. Have a good one. Bye.